Well, welcome back to the Extraordinary Drummer Show. As you know, I always say, today. Well, we got a good old friend back on the show. I'm elated. I'm excited. I'm just encouraged that this is going to be a good one, boy. Wherever this guy show up, if he's in the room, it's going to be good, believe me. My guest today, drummer, you just know his body of work. I think, some 19 years with Little Richard as his drummer, if I'm not mistaken. Currently playing with Rick Estrin and the Nightcats. That's a great show too. You got to see that show. I won't tell you, but it's a great show. He's a showman. Today we're going to do a show a little bit different. It's this gentleman I have on today, he's a fashion plate. He's a fashion plate. He's one of those drummers that's just disciplined, always looking good on stage, always take the time to be prepared and come in, just not cut up jeans and t-shirts and that scene. I'm not knocking the guys that do that, but it is called show business. And within the show side, you want to look good and you want to sound good, but that look has a lot to do with it. And that's what we're going to talk about today, style. As I said, would you help me welcome my guest today, Derrick Dmar Martin. Hey, Dmar.
What's up? Hey, man. Thanks for having me back, bro.
Oh, thank you for coming back. Welcome to the Extraordinary Drummer Show.
Thank you, man. It's good to be here.
Where are you originally from, Dmar?
Jackson, Mississippi.
Woo-hoo. Mississippi. See, you got too many letters in that. In Mississippi. Do you get down there often?
Man, I haven't been home now, man, probably in 8 or 9 years.
And staying with your credits, and then we'll move on to the topic of the show, style. What's it like working with Rick and the guys, Rick Estrin and the Nightcats? What's that like?
This is literally like a family on and off stage.
And that's important because you got to live with folks, and I see you guys are family. Let's get to the topic at hand, style. Oh man, are you a fashion plate, boy? Let's talk about that.
I don't know.
What is it about you that causes that made that happen, that you're a stickler to discipline and fashion and style and so forth?
Well, I mean, that's just by the way I was raised. I mean, like I said, I hail from Mississippi. And not only my mother, but all of the musicians that raised us, man, it's Vast Eye Jackson, all the cats around. Every musician I ever talked to, like, yo, man, when first of all, you're always prepared. You don't show up to the gig not knowing the material, and showing up on time is like, if you're on time, you're late. Early is on time. Always be dressed. We were taught, you don't wear jeans and tennis shoes on stage, you slacks, shirt, the tie is not a must, but if we want you looking your best, because they come out of tradition of like jazz musicians as well. And what people missed was that even with the first blues musicians, these guys would be working in the fields. And then when they would go play in front of people, it was like, well, they have on overalls and stuff in the fields. But when they got ready to go play, they got suited and booted. And it was like, well, why are you going to go play and look the same way you looked in the field? So the stage is to be revered. And, I just was raised in that tradition. And I don't knock anybody that doesn't do it. But it was so ingrained in me that it's just what I like to do. And, when you look good, you feel good. You look like a star, and, it makes it easy to be that star, I think.
With Dmar, a lot of people say they're not comfortable when they're dressed up on stage. What do you think of that?
Well, again, it's a personal preference because, I went to Jackson State University. Again, I majored in percussion with jazz emphasis, but the professors I had there were some of the greatest cats ever, man. Like Prof. Davis, which is one of the people that started the program decades back. Prof. Davis spent time in Duke Ellington's band. Kenny Burrell came through Jackson State. Kalonzo May, it's this rich legacy of cats So when we played the jazz gigs, we all had on suits with jackets, and you had to play the gig, but it was like, the drummer may be able to take off the jacket. And for me, it was like, okay, well, if I take off the jacket, but let me put on a vest, because I could wear the vest and still have my arms cool. But I would always start the show off with the jacket on for that initial look with the band, then maybe take the jacket off, but keep the tie on. But, because, what it is that people don't people listen with their eyes as well. So like you could be playing something, you could take two different groups playing the exact same music, but you dress one group up and dress the other group down. And 90% of the time, people are going to tell you the band that looked better sounded better, even if both bands sounded alike.
Before I talk about where do you get yours from and what is it that you looking to implement, what do you say to the guys that say, man, you're going to sweat that stuff up and it's all hot and sweaty? And because I went through that. I went through quite a few really good suits with the sweat and this stuff. She used to hate the word sweat for perspiration, but what do you say to that point?
I say that they're exactly right. Because literally every show I'm drenched. And if I have two sets, because we just came off of a tour, we did 19 days. And I always ask the production manager, okay, how many are we doing? One show, two shows? Because if it's two shows, I have to have two shirts. I have to have a shirt for the first show, and then I have to change or whatever. So I have to make sure I have enough. And usually what I do is that, I'm not going to go on stage in a $2,000 Armani suit to sweat out. But I'll go to H&M and buy, they got the dress shirt you can get for $15, $20 that look great. Oh, I'll buy 15, 20 of those in various colors and designs, match the ties with them, find matching vests that I can spend $20 or something on. And I take care of this stuff, like I dry clean everything. But that stuff, it looks good, but I'm not spending, I have other stuff. I've got really expensive suits that I wear when I, go out with my wife or I'm going to a function or award show or something. That's the quality stuff. But if I know I'm going to go on stage, I'm not going to sweat out a $500 suit like that. But I will invest, because you don't have to spend a lot of money to look good. But yeah, short answer, I'll just buy stuff that I know, because you're going to sweat. It's just particularly doing what we do, you're going to sweat it out.
Put your hands right there, come on. Put your hands right there, come on.
Is it a certain person or style or something that you're trying to say within yours? Is it elegance? What is it that you're trying to say? If you think about people along the line that were fashion plates, they was implementing something through the fashion. I think you get what I mean.
Well, I don't know, man. It's just, I can't say that I'm trying to say anything other than what I'm trying to do is just not mess it up, because I really do revere, man. Like when you look at Art Blakely and Max Roach and, Fred Velo and Harvey May, like all these cats that came before us, man. Like on my wall now, man, I had a picture of Omar Hakeem and like all these cats. And when I saw these cats on stage, man, they just look great and they play great in their presentation on stage. So I'm in that lineage, I'm in that legacy. And it's just, I'm kind of the bearer of that torch. And I feel like, no, man, I gotta keep doing that. So when young drummers or whatever, they see me or they say whatever, man, this cat, he looks good. Like he respects the stage. And not that those that don't do this don't respect the stage. It's just, again, it was just the way I was raised, particularly being from the South and, being, because Jackson, Mississippi, I'm 3 hours from New Orleans, 3 hours from Memphis. So, and, you got the jazz affect there in New Orleans. You got, the soul thing happening in Memphis. You got the blues thing happening in Mississippi. And all the old heads, man, it was constantly talking about, hey, baby, you got to look good. You got to be cool. You got to respect this music. I've seen cats get fined, man. Show up on the gig with tennis shoes on or not dressed right. Hey, man, that's $10 fine, bro.
I want to go down this road a little bit. Part of what makes that happen is the discipline of health. Would you talk about that a little bit, please?
Well, yeah, man, particularly as we just talk about drumming, period, is a very physical thing. We're hitting things, our joints and even, I'll tell you, when I first joined the Little Richard Band, it's the first time playing gig that big, man, and we're playing for thousands of people and the band is like hella loud. It's just, so I'm trying to drive this band, and for like the first year or so, man, my forearms would just ache after every gig, and I was like, man, I don't know what's going on, and I trained in martial art, and again, my mentor, Vasti Jackson, he was like, hey, man, you got to think like a martial artist when you're playing. You have to relax. You have to breathe. See, the only reason you're having these problems is because you're tensing up and you're actually fighting the drum. Instead of pulling sound from the drum, you're playing through the drum, you're trying to hit too hard, and the drum's just hitting you back. So when I thought about it, and I spoke to a martial artist, and he was like, well, the thing is, you have to approach playing the drums like an athlete. You have to work out every day. You have to drink plenty of water, get rest, and you have to relax when you play. And he says that as you play, instead of getting weaker, you should be getting stronger.
Dmar, tell us a little bit about the new album.
Oh, cool, man. The new album is called So Much Soul. Came out in July, and I've been releasing, I think I released 4 singles from that record, starting in February, leading up to it. And it's just, another progression in my growth as an artist, man. Like, I think this is my best work to date. I'm still growing and always trying to find my voice, because I'm writing everything and producing and singing and arranging and stuff. And, and as Little Richard, said years ago, it's like, because I used to say, Richard, I can't sing. He was like, well, you a stylist. You what we call a stylist. Like, you have a thing you do and you just do it. But yeah, the new album is available on, it's a, digital release, available on all digital music platforms. And, I got videos and stuff for over half the singles on the record. So you can, check that stuff out. But yeah, I'm having, and the response has been good. We just hit just over 600,000 streams so far in this first, it hasn't quite been a month yet. And we just hit over 600,000 streams. So we're still pushing that forward, man. And, trying to see what's happening with it.
Congratulations, Dmar. It is great. I love that album.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Before I let you go, as I said, Dmar, we have a thing on the show that we call Word of Advice. As you know, we're asking the drummers if they'll leave a parting word with the up-and-comer guys, even the guys at the next level, but guys that are trying to get traction in this industry, in this game. Would you leave them a word of advice, please?
Oh, man, it's interesting. It's like the word of advice, I think about that. It always changes from time, as you learn more. And where I am now, the best advice I can give anybody is be happy. Be happy with what you're doing and with yourself. Like, don't be so caught up in trying to achieve certain things because of what you see somebody else doing or what you think a thing is. Just be happy with who you are, what you're doing, and play music and do things that you like. And it will make it, and you will make your way in the world from that place much easier than you would the other way, trying to chase things. And if you're chasing money, if you're chasing fame, if you're chasing status or whatever, if none of that's making you happy, man, you got to back up. Just be happy first. Just find ways, because this life is about living your life with quality. And I just say find ways to be happy.
Well, again, thank you so very much. I do want to say, you walk the talk is what I'm trying to say. And that's why I wanted you on the show, man. You walk it. If I had to have a press suit every night and the discipline you take to know the music and write the charts, boy, I'd be fine all the time. Well,
something else that's funny, because my wife laughs about it. We talk about discipline. It's like saying, so maybe like 2 weeks we leave for a 16-day tour. So what I have to do, not only with the music and the whole thing and the travel, but like you talk about, like my wardrobe, I have to know, okay, I have this many shows, and okay, so I have to have this many outfits, and what am I going to wear here? I need 2 shirts for this. Then I also got to have t-shirts. I got to have the socks. So it's like, and I'm looking at every show. It's like I can't recycle anything because I'm sweating everything out. So if I got 16 shows, I got to have 16 fits. So it's like, and then the amount of planning, and okay, I got to do this and pack this, and I got to have this, I got to have the right tie clip, I got to have that. And that's just, that's just the wardrobe. And you got to plan every piece of that with your travel. And I will say, we talked about the travel thing that I told you I just got. My wife said I'm too proud of it, but I'm happy. I just got like TSA pre and my global entry card, which is like, yeah. Like I come back into the country and I don't have to stand in that long customs line. They take my picture and they print the thing out, and it's like a 5-minute process. But even that, we talk about discipline, and I will give the advice, all drummers, whatever airline you own, join those frequent flyer programs, build up that status, because being gold and above makes your life so much easier when you travel. You travel internationally, you can stay in the lounges, you can, because hey man, the older we get, it's about quality of life. And you want to travel comfortably. Save those miles, get those points, get TSA pre, global entry, all those things that make your life easy, because we can do this longer when it's not a burden. When you feel like, oh, you could be up in your 50s and 60s, but it's like, oh man, I'm traveling, I can sit in the lounge, I can do whatever. It doesn't feel like it's hard.
I'm speechless. Imagine me speechless. Dmar, thank you so very much for being on Extraordinary Drummer Show.
Thank you, man. I know this is probably a different kind of topic for everybody. Not so much drums.
I think it's needed. I think that's what the show is, just the full gamut of the extraordinary drummer, what it takes to be one, and the different styles of one. The show is not really about how famous people are. It's just how extraordinary they are. So that's not at a level of a hit record or so it's really not. A lot of people think it is, because there are a lot of accomplished guys, but there's a few guys on here that's never played a big gig. There's a few guys on here that don't even aspire it. They just want to play. So I call it extraordinary drummer, and that you are.
Oh, thank you, man. So are you.
Yeah, right. As you can see.
I gotta tell you, man, look at the plaques on the wall, bro. Look at the plaques on the wall.
No, you can't even put me in the same category as Dmar. Again, thank you so very much for being on the show, my friend. Would you help me wave goodbye to all the fans?
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, man.
get to